took place tonight in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I think the most anticipated part of this show was going to be Naomi's announcement, and it turned out to be what most of us were expecting it to be. And I'll get to that when I talk about that part of the show in my review. But you started the show off, unfortunately, with the Vision, and I saw a funny tweet. It's as if, you turn on Raw, you hear, burn it down, then you immediately turn it off, and that's the feeling I get every single Monday night at 8 o'clock when Seth Rollins starts the show, which he always has to fucking do. They always have to have this fucking Vision group start every Raw. Can we at least start with someone else? Can we just start with the Judgment Day? Start with that group. Does it always have to be the fucking Vision? They suck. And Rollins starts the show. I don't want to watch him. I hate the guy. He's boring. His voice is just insufferable. His cackling, his raspy voice, his whiny voice. It's so unpleasant to hear. And it's irritating. He irritates me. Yeah, he's a good wrestler, but I'm just so sick of this Rollins push. Jey Uso interrupted him, and I'll be honest, I fast-forwarded through a lot of this. I did not care about the segment. But it was set up the main event, which was going to be Jey Uso taking on Braun Breaker in an Extreme Rules match, and that was a very good match. We'll get to that later as well. So, backstage in Gorilla is Io Sky. Then we see Kairi Sane and Asuka apologizing to her for last week, particularly Asuka does. Kairi is basically just a background player in this segment. Asuka tells her, and Kairi tells her they're always going to have her back, but Io, she wants to be alone right now. She's not calling for them to be in her corner. That's what it basically is. But it's very friendly to start right here. Then Io Sky makes her entrance for a match against Raquel Rodriguez, and we get that match. As Raquel makes her entrance, all I could look at is Roxanne Perez wearing a very tight leather outfit. So, which she looks great in, by the way. And you have Io and Roxanne. I'm glad Michael Cole mentioned that they have a history in NXT. It was when Raquel Rodriguez, this is 4 years ago now, won the NXT Women's Championship from Io Sky in 2021 at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. So, quite the history. Io, I think, was just an awesome NXT Women's Champion. But they have a match here. You had Roxanne grabbing Io's foot when she would try to go off the ropes. So, in response, Io took out Roxanne Perez with a suicide dive. Then she did it to Raquel, but Raquel caught her. She threw her back in the ring. And all I can think about watching Raquel is how much she's improved. It really seems like Kevin Nash's advice he gave her, he basically told her to work like you're bigger. Stop working like you're smaller. You're bigger than everyone. You're almost 6 feet tall. And she seems to have taken his advice. She's not the kind of wrestler who says, I don't care what those old-timers say. She actually listened to what Kevin Nash was saying, took his advice, and she's become so much better. It seems like it's gone as if she's gone. Seems like Raquel has gone back to her old self before she got sick with that skin condition. So this was a good match. Io won the match with the over the moonsault. After it, both Raquel and Roxanne beat her down until Rhea Ripley makes the save, and she got a massive pop. I mean a massive pop. Philly went crazy for Mommy. Rhea makes a save. Her and Io fight off Raquel and Roxanne. They stand tall. I have to mention Rhea showing some cleavage in order to mostly show off. She's showing her bare chest to show off her new tattoo that she posted, that she got. A chest tattoo. It's very visible now, so she wants you to see that. So you have the baby faces standing tall, and we'll see what happens at Clash in Paris. Then we go backstage, and Jackie Redmond, who, since I mentioned what Roxanne was wearing, I guess I have to mention what Jackie was wearing. It was nice as well. It's a nice dress. She was interviewing LA Knight, backstage, and then CM Punk interrupted them. They go back and forth. They're arguing before the big Fatal 4-Way match. They don't want to get in each other's way and stuff. New Day are out next, and besides Seth Rollins, I mean, They have as much go-away heat with me as anyone. When I see them on my TV, I immediately want to change the channel, but then I remember I can't because it's on Netflix. So you have Rhea Ripley talking to Io Sky in the infamous hallway. I'm referring to the same hallway in which Liv Morgan injured Rhea Ripley the night after WrestleMania 40 on Raw when Rhea was thrown into the hallway, and she, to protect her face from hitting the wall, she put her hands up, and that separated her shoulder, and she was out for several months. And so it's kind of traumatic in a way, and she let you know at the end. But Asuka is mad at Rhea Ripley for helping Io Sky. Io begins shouting in Japanese at both Asuka and Rhea. Kairi looks around. She's sad at the whole situation. This is after Asuka and Rhea left, and after Asuka and Io left. Rhea, after seeing sad Kairi, she then glances at the wall, and I love that because she's acknowledging what happened last year. She even took a selfie on her Instagram with the wall, the same wall that she got injured on last year. I like that touch. Then you have Xavier Woods against Penta. Penta won, whatever. They show footage of Rey Mysterio talking to Dominic backstage and mocking him at the Triple Mania show, which I did not see, by the way. I think everyone else has seen, but it's not officially a WWE show, so I don't have to review it. Judgment Day were out next. You had Finn Balor and JD McDonough taking on Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana is from AAA. They're doing everything to promote it. You had the Philadelphia Eagles player in the crowd, and this was fun. You see football players, sports athletes in the crowd all the time, but he was actually holding the Super Bowl Lombardi trophy. He was actually holding the Lombardi. That was the real Lombardi that the Eagles held when they won the Super Bowl this year. Wow, that was not expecting that. We actually got to see a Lombardi on Raw on a WWE show for the first time. So Iguana was really getting over in this match. Dom got involved, and it led to Finn Balor getting the win by pinning Dragon Lee. After the match, they attacked Iguana. Vikingo made the save, and this is all done to promote the next Worlds Collide show, which is in September. Then JD got the Judgment Day got the upper hand. Dom hit the frog splash. The Judgment Day stood tall, and they're setting up Vikingo defending against Dom at Worlds Collide. Backstage, Jackie Redmond interviews Becky Lynch with her white scarf, and this is before her match with Natalya. We see Natalya heading to the ring, and this was Natalya. This was not Natty. She's not playing her character that she's created on the independent circuit that WWE allows her to wrestle on. She was still basically same old Natalya. And we got before the match, we got a Bayley video promo. There's another Bayley talking in her head, and then we hear, "How about a hug?" And then it fades to black. So I hope we get the hugger back. I missed the hugger. We get Becky Lynch against Natalya. Becky won with the disarmer, nothing much here. Becky attacked her after the match. Then she attacked Maxine Dupree, put her into submission, and then Nikki Bella makes the save. She hits the rack attack on Becky Lynch. I assume she's facing Becky in Paris. And because the show's in Philly, and also because Nikki Bella is from Philadelphia, she was wearing all Eagles colors, and that got her another pop from the crowd. Wearing all green top. So you had Jackie Redmond interviewing Sheamus backstage. Rusev confronts him. He's about to fight with them. They're about to brawl, but they're separated by a whole bunch of guys in security, but you can see some wrestlers there too. Nick Aldis then makes a Donnybrook match at Clash in Paris. Michael Cole then promoted the What's Your Story podcast that will drop after Raw ends. This is with Stephanie McMahon, who has both Jimmy Uso and Naomi as a special guest. You can figure where that was going. Backstage, CM Punk was talking to Jay Uso. He says he has his back, but Jay doesn't want him to. So I guess it's the same thing they did last week with Io Sky with the Kabuki Warriors. So next, Adam Pearce was in the ring. He introduces Naomi, and she has her custom belt. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, maybe not. Because why else would they make a custom belt? Then I just figured, well, it doesn't matter. They can just sell the custom belt on WWE Shop. So you had Naomi out. There's a big pop. People are cheering for her. I think all the fans knew what the announcement probably was going to be. She's crying at first as she's being cheered. And then they go to the podcast. They actually show the podcast on the screen. And Jimmy announces that Naomi is pregnant, and they show the footage. Massive cheers from the crowd. Everyone's happy for her. Great moment. Congratulations to Naomi, Trinity. And this is a really nice, wholesome moment here. She then says that she's not handing the belt back to Adam Pearce, and she goes back into character, kicks Adam Pearce out of the ring. And this was actually a really fun part. She's going in and out of character, which was funny. As I said, it was a nice moment here. She says the bloodline continues. That was a cool part. She's going in between, the Naomi, not really the glow gimmick, but kind of going in between the new Naomi Proceed with Caution gimmick and Trinity herself, which was a funny moment. And I liked when she said the bloodline continues. There was also a Baby Uso chant. And again, this was a really cool moment here. She lays the belt down and tells the new champion to proceed with caution. So Naomi will be back. That's what she says right now. Becky Lynch was out from, I believe, 13, 14 months. Alexa Bliss was out longer. She was out for 2 years, Alexa Bliss. But she had some contract issues near the end before they brought her back this year. So when you see Becky come back, you see Alexa Bliss come back, makes you think, yeah, Naomi will be back. She is a little bit older than they were. Alexa was young, and I think Becky was the same age when she got pregnant that time. Both in the early 30s. Naomi's 37, so I don't know if she'll come back as soon. Hope she has, a good pregnancy, has a nice child with Jimmy Uso. Wish all the best for Naomi. She's come a long way, I have to say. So, remember when she left the company a few years ago with that infamous walkout with Sasha Banks? They left her titles on Raw, and then they trashed them really bad on TV afterwards. Looked like they were both gone. Eventually, Naomi made her way back to the company, returned at last year's Royal Rumble, and was still the same old glow gimmick, and she was just part of the Big Three stable with Bianca and Jade. Then they had her turn heel. She created the Proceed with Caution gimmick, and eventually got really over. Won Money in the Bank this year and became the Women's Champion at Evolution by cashing in the main event, and then retained her title at SummerSlam this year. So quite the year. And to be honest, she was probably going to be the Women's Wrestler of the Year. I think most people would give her that up until this announcement, because now she's going to miss the final few months of the year. But she was having an amazing year, and it's a thing where she's getting pregnant at the height of her career. She's never been this over, never gone this push before. This is the highest position she's ever had in a company, so she is getting pregnant at a time where, it's unlikely. I don't know if she'll get back to this position again, but it's still, more important things in life than wrestling. I'm sure she's been in WWE for years. I'm sure she's made a lot of money with the company, and look at her family. She's married into the Bloodline family, the Anoa'i family. So they're all the Fatus. They're obviously all very wealthy. So it's a thing where I'm not sure she'll get back to this point, because this has been the height of her career, and she's had such a long career. But still, it was an amazing moment. It's a really happy moment, and it's a really nice, wonderful thing for both Trinity and Jonathan, her husband, Jim Uso. So, congratulations to Naomi. So you had Braun Breaker heading to the ring. Before that, the announcers previewed next week's Raw show in Birmingham, England. They also showed that John Cena will be on SmackDown this week in Dublin, Ireland. We saw the Judgment Day walking backstage. Again, all I can look at is Roxanne in leather, but you see them walking backstage, and then we see, and when they're walking, it's Raquel, Roxanne, Finn, and JD. Then we see Dom talking to El Grande Americano, and Judgment Day was annoyed, so they're setting up something there with an alliance. And then we go to the main event, Extreme Rules match, Jey Uso against Braun Breaker. When Jey came out, he was wielding a cart full of weapons. He was wearing an attire that was supposed to be a tribute to New Jack. The announcers mentioned Jack on commentary. You would never expect to ever hear New Jack affiliated with WWE. Of course, he passed away a few years ago, but it was a cool moment, I guess, that they mentioned New Jack, at least in Philly. So he had the match. Jey clotheslined Braun Breaker over the top rope, and Braun landed shin first on the cart. It looked like he like broke his shin. It was fucking nasty. It was a horrible bump. It's the kind of thing where it's such a bad bump. It looks so painful. Even though if he's injured, like it's not going to be a long-term injury. It'd be like a fibula injury. But it's just looks so nasty because he's landing shin first, bone first onto a fucking steel cart. It looks so painful. So you had a million weapons in the ring. There was a whole bunch of chairs. Probably actually about a million chairs. There's also a kendo stick, a sign, a trash can lid, a trash can. You had Bronson Reed attacking Jey Uso after Jey hit the Uso splash, so he pulled out the referee. Then LA Knight comes out to make the save. Seth Rollins jumps LA Knight. CM Punk comes out next, and he brawls with Seth Rollins. Punk has Rollins up for to go to sleep, but then Rollins gets out of it, and he pushes Punk off, and then Punk bumps into LA Knight, who's on the apron, and LA Knight goes crashing through a table that was set up on the outside. CM Punk and Seth Rollins then brawl in the crowd. Jey went for the Uso splash again, but Bronson got involved. He attacked Jey, and then Roman Reigns comes out to a massive pop. He makes the save. He was advertised on the show, so I figured he was coming out. He spears Braun Breaker. When he hears Roman Reigns' music, he just goes to do the spear on Jey Uso anyway on the outside. But then Roman Reigns comes out from the crowd, and he spears the shit out of Braun Breaker. It was awesome. Braun was going to do the big spear around the ring, but he gets caught by Roman with a spear. And then Roman hits a Superman punch on Bronson Reed. Jey then hits a super kick on Braun Breaker, sets up on the table. Jey climbs to the top rope, hits the Uso splash on Braun Breaker through the table, and pins him to defeat him. And this is the second time I believe he's beaten Braun Breaker. Jey Uso gets the win. And him and Roman stand tall. Roman then challenges Bronson Reed to a match at Clash in Paris. So that's basically all but confirmed, and that's how Raw ended tonight. Overall, a good showing from Philly tonight. Much better than SmackDown was. But Raw was good tonight. I enjoyed the show. And it was definitely the best part were in the final hour, in which you had the announcement from Naomi, a really nice wholesome moment, and a really good main event with a surprise, not really a surprise for him, but the big return of Roman Reigns at the end. And I thought Raw overall was a good show tonight.